Look, today we do have a risk-on attitude. We are seeing the Nasdaq up more than 1%, let's call it 1.5% at the moment. Deals unfolded, but also the China-US calming in terms of the ratcheting up of tariffs. What do you think about buying into these names right now?
Yes, we're definitely getting a sense that the mood music has changed quite considerably as we started this week and as we continue into Tuesday. So obviously we had that strong rally in the Nasdaq 100 yesterday, up around 4.3%. Seeing those gains extended today, up around 1.4%. So the mood is definitely upbeat as far as these stocks are concerned, and it does feel that the sentiment is changing and that the outlook is more positive. You know, we're past that worst case scenario. We seem to be looking at a more positive, upbeat outlook. I would like to say that I don't think we're quite out of the woods yet. I think there are still potential for some tariff issues which haven't been resolved, particularly around sort of electronics and semiconductors, that we had heard the White House say that they were sort of putting back. So we still need to get a little bit more clarification about that. But as far as the de-escalation of the trade war with China is concerned, as far as this push for deals in Saudi Arabia is concerned and UAE, that's really important.
Fiona, the president standing next to MBS, but also Saudi Arabia's investment minister, Khalid Al-Falih, and also the head of the Public Investment Fund. If these tech deals are substantive between the United States and Saudi Arabia, how do you do that as an investor? Do you invest in a US proxy that's set to benefit, or is Saudi accessible to your clients?
No, so it would be through the US proxy. That's where we'd be focusing attention. And I think that's where the most popular sort of trades would be looking as well. That's what's most easily accessible and potentially I would like to see less risk adverse. But I mean, that's what we just need to focus on at the moment, is where is the access to this? And yeah, through the US proxies. I mean, obviously chip stocks are the area that we've been looking at very focused at recently.
Right.
Those are the areas that are continuing to push higher today.
Nvidia is up more than 5%. How big a deal is this for them to get access to the Saudi market?
I think this is a big deal, not just because the numbers that have been announced today, potentially they're not really as huge, but it's just what this means for the future. We know that Saudi Arabia is very focused on looking towards AI, looking towards technological future. And so this could be the start of something that really is much bigger than what it appears to be today. Today is definitely a move in the right direction. It's upbeat news. It's encouraging, and we can see that from the reaction in the share price. But I think actually what this means for the future and going forward is almost just as important.
And what's been so hampering the willingness to buy back into generative AI trade or to these AI infrastructure plays in particular was the lack of clarity, a lack of clarity as to what the AI diffusion rule would be implemented. We know that that's now not going to be. The fact that now it becomes a tit for tat, that it becomes embroiled within the overall tariff conversations on a country-by-country basis, Fiona, is that a positive? Does that even mean that maybe we'll have Jensen Huang having access still to China in some way?
Potentially. I mean, I think what you say is true. There has been more clarity than what there was, but I don't think everything is as clear as it could be for investors still. I do think there is still a level of uncertainty, but that has been broadly wiped away. I mean, if we think about what that means, what investors are looking for is some sort of form of clarity. And because we are moving slowly and steadily towards a sort of a clearer understanding of what Trump is looking for, what Trump's aiming for, then that obviously does help the investors take their decisions.
Does it then become all about the 2024 trade, Nvidia, AMD, once again, the infrastructure play? Do we broaden it out? Because at the moment, Apple, of course, has been in the line of fire when it comes to tariff concerns. How much broader do we go in the buying of tech?
Yeah, I think, you know, as you pointed out, we had seen a very, very strong rally. We'd seen that AI trade had been obviously very key across 2024 and hadn't been in play at all in 2025. And I think this potentially does mean that we are seeing a revival of that trade. But there is also the potential here for it to be broadened out. I mean, as you pointed out, Apple has benefited greatly from more clarity regarding the US and China and a de-escalation there. Other tech firms as well also can benefit there, given that their manufacturing bases are so strongly implemented in China. So there is a potential for that AI trade to broaden out, and that's what we were looking for as we started into 2025, before we sort of saw all this tariff chaos hit tech stocks. So I think there is that potential that as we get more clarity regarding the outlook for tariffs, what this means, that we could actually find that broadening out of the AI trade does still take place in the latter part of 2025.